Hello ladies and gents, I'm the Rev. This is the beginner's guide to capital vessels with Empyrion Galactic Survival. I'm going to show you guys how to build one of these bad boys today. So we've got my outer shell here. Hasn't been painted yet. Oh, the sun's just coming up on me, baby. You can see I do have my little A-wing sitting on here, docked to it, and I did that specifically to make sure it was big enough to do so. I haven't put the armaments on this, and you can put big ass armaments, as you can see, on top there, various spots. And what I did do, and this is going to kill me because normally when you build something like this, you want to be symmetrical. So as you build, this right here and this, you build this side right here, and you go back and forth so that you make sure everything's even. Otherwise, yo, shit gets all messed up. Anyways, so we'll come on over here. We'll turn some little power on, and we'll start going over what everything is here. So let's see. Alright, easiest way to do it. Now before we move here, that's a bug. When your capital vessel is not in use, or it's just sitting and you're doing other things, make sure you go through and turn off everything you're not using. You even have to turn off the landing gear for some reason. As you can see, as it cuts my power usage, everything should be going up. Can't turn the generator off. Can't turn all the lights off. That's pretty easy. Medic station off. RCS. Drives. Those guys are the big power hogs. There we go. I shouldn't be. 38 seconds. What? Anyways. Also, as you're building, you want to make sure you don't build so high that you can't see from the outside perspective, third-person perspective that they have. As you can see here, we're good. I've still got a lot more work to do on this ship, but I'm going to be using it in my Lone Rebel series, I think. Just haven't decided if I'm going to make it an Empire ship or what. Anyways, so here we go. Alright, so what do you all need to fly with your capital ship? Well, of course, first, you got to get your core built. And when you do that, it will put a single-man cockpit at one end of the 9 squares. That'll tell you what direction the squares are pointing, so you know where to go from there. Then, okay, so capital vessels. The way I look at them is they are your space station that moves. So you want to make sure you've got everything in there to fly it, as well as what you would have on a base. So what does that mean? That means we got our food supplies, right? Make stuff. I'll probably put more of these in here, probably 2 more, so that can be filled up, because it's a good idea when you do this to, whenever you're on a planet, get as much food as you can so you can bring it back to your base, unless you're doing hydroponics. This is new. This is the ammo crate. And before, ammo was infinite. Now on all the big vessels and the small vessels and hover vessels, you have to have an ammo box, and make sure you put the right kind of ammo in that, and I'll show you guys that in a sec. Of course, we got a couple of our storage containers, oxygen dispenser, and a health station. The other thing, of course, you have to have is your RCS, which makes it so you can turn. And then we've got our fuel tanks, and you can't see them, but you need to put directionals in. Make sure you go left, right, up, down. Basically all the different directions, except for something out the back, because, well, you've already got I have 2 thrusters. And these are the strongest thrusters you can use, and we'll go over that in a second. But I put 2 of them on here just because it's the way I want my ship to look. So I haven't completely decided how I'm going to finish this out, but, and of course, if you want to build, base everything off your core for your centering, you're going to have to use a single man cockpit. The one I have is a 2-man, because it's 9 squares, so it's 3 across. I wanted to use a 2-man, so this thing is based off of that. So you can see we've got our two square here with a chair instead of just 1 square with a chair. It would be on either side there. Of course, the other thing you must have is your power generator in general, and then you must have your warp core. Now, on the space station bases, you can put a anti-grav unit in. I don't see the point in using those unless you're going to use this as a stationary station, you know, in orbit as you go down to the planet back and forth. I don't see a point in putting one on a capital vessel because I don't use it at all. When you're in space, you can float around like I am now, you can turn, spin, all kinds of different things, so you don't need to worry about that. The other big thing, and I didn't say, is now you can build these on the planet. So how you start, and what I always do, is I start with a rectangle. I put, because the warp core is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares across. That's why it looks a little off center. That way I make sure I've got all of my needed things so I don't forget, because once you start building, this is the easy part. Putting in all of this stuff, this is the easy part. Once you start actually designing the outside of the ship, that's where you'll spend, what, 90% of your time, easily. And the cool thing about this ship so far, at least, is I'm going to have 3 decks where I can put ships. I put one here, here, and here. And then I can put more artillery on top here. And I can put it underneath. And one of the things you do want to keep in mind is to try to, when building this, of course, you know, sketch out both sides so you know what you're doing. And then once you have it, you've decided where your outside shell is going to be, right? Like this here. If I want to, because the exterior is bigger than the interior, come down here to our little door. I could hollow all of this out, and use it for other things. So I can put a hydroponic area in there, all kinds of different stuff. Same with down here, because I wanted to make sure my... Actually, you know what? I was going to put doors down here anyways. Now, I don't suggest doing this, of course, if you are... See? Anyways, so this is where I want to put my landing gear, and I want to make sure it was far enough down. I did have them out here on the wings, and it just looks horrible like it does over here on my fighter. I didn't care for that. So, anyways, as you can see, there is a bunch. Let's see, let's put doors here real quick. Put a door there, and a door there. There we go. So now, because when you're in space, it doesn't matter. You can dock your ships underneath. Anywhere there's a spot you want to dock your ship, you can, as long as you get landing flat. So, but anyways, I like that. So under here, like I said, I left some stuff open. I can open this up another side here, although I probably won't because then it'll be off center. That's messing with me. Anyways, so down here, you know, you can put a hydroponics garden. You could start decking it out, putting crew quarters down here, all kinds of different things. I haven't decided, like I said, how I'm going to completely design this out. But this is going to probably be one of the ships that I use to go planet to planet. It's got pretty much everything, although I would have to leave it in orbit because it doesn't have the proper defenses. Now, if you don't want to build something fancy like this, and you just need something to get from point A to point B, and you want to protect it as much as possible, you can build something like this. These are designed specifically to survive drone attacks and everything else. So when you're mining and you drop your, you take our little armored ship here and you land and you go start drilling your hole, you'll hear the tink 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 or boom or whatever it is they shoot at your ship here, and then you'll know immediately to go up and take care of it. Now, the big difference with this bad boy, with all those guns, hear all the reloading, and it begins. What are you shooting at, dude? What are you doing? Okay. So that gives you an idea. So basically, any drones that come in on me, it'll protect my dropship. So, if I'm building a base or I'm doing something like that, and I want protection, let's just do this. There we go. Then this is a great way to do it. And this is the one I've been using. This is my dropship. This is when I take down to the planet's surface. Now what you see in here, you see, of course, constructor. There's 2 of them in the other ship. And this is just to get the ores and stuff start going, get them into bars, things like that. Of course, we've got our ammo crate. And we've got a good chunk of ammo here. This is for what I'm going to put on additionally. Some flak shells. Of course, our food, power supplies, generator, cockpit. There's the directional thrusters. And currently you can build them inside or outside and it doesn't affect the ship the way it flies, which is nice. Then of course we've got our warp core, and I think I put, oh no I took it out. I did have the anti-grav unit in here because I was going to just show you guys this ship, and I went, you know what, no, I need to build this other ship for the Lone Rebel series, so that's what we gonna do. Now you may be asking, well, can you take that ship off and fly it? Yeah, I can. Before they did this latest update, I would go up, and you see how that's the square. That's the basic layout that I first put together. And I had no ceiling, no sides, no nothing, and I just went up there, built it, put landing gear on the bottom of it, flew it down here, and then built the rest up, filled it up, and then started to work on armoring it, and then been just cranking ever since. We are on a different planet. And the cool thing about this planet, which is, wrong button. Here we go. Is at Hines. As you can see, your resources here. I've found 7 of the 8 of iron. We got magnesium, promethium, but that's all there is on this. And that's what it's like on a few of the different planets now, is that you get basic things. Now, and that's why I built the base here, because iron is the most thing that you will use the most building ships over and over and over. The other thing is probably your repair tool, because I actually tear up and rebuild more than I actually leave in place. So, but there you go, guys. Those are the basics on how to build a capital vessel. Of course, you can design it any way that you want. I said the reason I'm doing this is to go along with my little series I've got going. This is one of the ports, a mining port that I'm working into the story for the Lone Rebel, and that'll be coming out here real soon. So there you go, folks. Yep. I have no idea what I'm going to put here. I'll put probably control panels or something else. But anyways, so there you go, folks. That is how to build a capital vessel. Like I said, start with a square. Make sure you've got everything that you need. The only other thing we need to talk about is ammo and engine size, and that'll be real easy to do. So when it comes to ammunition, as you can see as we go down here, we've got all the weapons, right? And each weapon will tell you what it needs. So as you look over here, it says it takes 15mm bullets for the minigun turrets, right? So you just look for 15. Right there, 15mm bullets. And we've got the 30mm because those you can put, let's see, yeah, on the cannon turrets. And the cannon turrets, from my understanding, are the only ones that you can use on the planets right now. So it's for basic defense against, again, drones and other such things, creepy crawlies that might come your way. And then when it comes to engines, because this is different than, well, no, it's the same kind of thing as the small vessels. I mean, you've got different size thrusters that they use different amounts of energy, but they have different types of thrust. So this has only got 20 MN for thrust, versus the ones I put on the ship are 40, but they're 1.6 megawatts versus 1.0. So they're beefy. And the only other thing is a docking port. Now you can put this on your hover vessels, and then you can dock your hover vessels onto the capital ships like you do already with these small vessels. And this is the new landing gear, the feet. Of course, this is what we had before. You can put these on light landing gear, heavy landing gear. I like the heavy landing gear because my landings aren't always pretty. I think that's about it for the new things and everything that goes on with the capital vessels right now. So, if they do any more major updates, of course, compartments, seats for everybody that's doing multiplayer. I just play by myself because things are much easier that way. Anyways, so you put these in so that other people can get on your ship. You can take them to various planets. Then there you go, folks. There is how you build your basic capital vessel, all the things that you need. So, and I did tell you guys RCS, yes I did. Okay, so there you go. So as always, I'm the Rev. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please smash that like button. Help support my channel so I can bring you more guides like this. And keep your eyes open for the Lone Rebel series. I'm going to be having a new episode coming out here real soon. So as always, keep your heads down, your guns up, and I'll see you again real soon.